as usual. Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm with Sarah today.
Hi, everyone.
I was just saying, Sarah, you've done this before. She's like, no, I haven't. I was like, oh, we're going to have fun then.
Fun/fear.
Yeah, and it's like testament to the work that you've done that you're even doing it, I guess, like, which is what we'll come on to. So that's amazing.
Yeah. Discomfort's where the growth is, right, Donna?
I have to put that in the book somewhere, actually. It's just popped in my head. But we are, Cheryl's at home. She's not joining us today. She's been at this lovely event today for parents of bereaved children. So she's been doing some fun and things today. So it's me and you. So if anyone joins, say hello. I'm just going to make sure I can see the comments. And yes, we just want to keep it real with you today because we know we get asked a lot. Right now, you've got the chance to apply for the Elite Mastermind. And we know that people ask us lots of questions. And we always say, ask the girls who are working with us, like what it's like, because I'm biased. So I always think it's just more powerful coming from you. Because we actually met, God, is it a year and a half ago now? It was like
Pretty much. It was like February last year, just before lockdown, that I met you both.
Oh, and was it where you were working, wasn't it? It was like your corporate HQ in London, and we were speaking there, talking about what we're doing, imposter syndrome and mental resilience.
You did a mental resilience kind of breakfast workshop. It was for International Women's Day. They were doing a run of things in our work, and I went and joined. Yeah, I almost didn't go though. Like I was due to, I'd made plans with one of my work colleagues to go, and we were going to meet outside in reception and go to it, and I was running late and I got the heel of my shoe stuck down a grate. I was like really annoyed. I was like, I'm just going to write it off, and I'm so glad that I didn't, and that I still went even though I was late, because obviously now I'm here and talking to you.
Here we are, and like we always said, like we intend to be stuck with you for a very long time, don't we? Because we love working with you. Well, when we first spoke, then, can you remember what it was about, like our stories that, like, what was it we were saying that was resonating? Because you get a lot of training on mental resilience and stuff, don't you, in corporate these days? What was different about it, do you think?
So I think a lot of it was timing for me. I was in corporate in a role that I wasn't particularly fulfilled in, was just kind of living each day on repeat, really. And, you know, had a pretty tough year personally the year before, and just felt, you know, a bit, not rock bottom, but pretty low and not really sure what to do. And then I walked into your masterclass. You and Cheryl were, you know, brutally honest, which I love. So down to earth, and you dropped the F-bomb in about 5 minutes, and I was like, these are my people. I need I know we're not allowed to need, but I was like, I need these people in my life.
So funny. I always say to Cheryl when we're doing events, especially when they're live, like, let's not swear. Let's keep it clean, because we just don't know who's watching and listening. But I think all bets are off, because if I remember rightly, your event, we couldn't get the tech to work. So I think for a little while, we actually didn't have any I didn't think we were going to have any slides or anything to show you. So I think by then I was like, F-bomb was coming out.
That was it. I was like, these are my people. I need to be part of this.
I felt the same. I remember seeing your face, actually. I remember seeing you at the time. I remember seeing your face when we spoke on Zoom. And you joined our 6 months program, didn't you, originally? The Soul Sister program. And because you really wanted to go through all the limited beliefs. And we didn't even have the mastermind then. You've since graduated in the mastermind, so you're with us for 12 whole months, which is so exciting.
Yeah, and I did 12 months in the Real You as well, actually, just because after 6 months I just realized that there was so much work still to do, and I still had so much to learn about myself and how to make myself happy and just being true to myself. And so actually by the end of it, I'll have had 2 years with you and the incredible women that are part of the group as well.
So exciting. It's so funny, actually. I was just saying to one of the clients in the Real You the other day, and we hear it a lot, and you'll know this from working with the Soul Sisters. They'll say, I feel like I should be further along. I feel like I'm not where I should be, and I've been in 3 months. And it's like, it's your journey. Like, it will take you as long as it takes you, and we would rather you did it at your speed and what feels good and natural to you, because you're doing really deep work, aren't you? You're kind of going into a lot of the trauma and a lot of the really uncomfortable life lessons that we've lived through to work out who you are, what you want, and how you want to get there. So it's not like just the kind of work you pick it up, you do it, you go right next. It's like it's ongoing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just the way the program goes, it just takes you on this natural journey. And there are things where you think that you haven't got anything to deal with, and the way that you behaved and the way you've dealt with certain situations has been, the right way, the strong way. And then you realize actually what you've been doing is you've just been packing up this baggage and just dragging it along with you. And it isn't until you start going through the program that you and Cheryl have put together that you realize that there are, that there are things that you do need to process and work through. And it's so interesting as well to realize why you behave in certain ways and why you do, what triggers those, why you've come to believe those things as well. So yeah, I think I've always been pretty self-aware, but honestly, I don't think I was at all now.
You look at that 2020 video where you look and you go, I thought I was somewhere, but like now I look back and I'm like, oh my God, what was I doing all those years? Like, what was I telling myself? But with what you knew at the time, you were really self-aware. This is just like different layers, isn't it? And expansion and because our clients are half and half, some of them have their own businesses and are employed in that. And then we have clients like you and Tara and Yvette when we met at Wendy, where you are still in corporate. And it's not about you don't come in to learn how to set your business up. You literally come in just going, I just want to learn more about me. And I want to see like what's possible and be the best version. Like, it was like quite a blank slate. I mean, there was stuff that you wanted to work through, but it wasn't with the definitive end goal in mind at the time, even wasn't it?
No, absolutely. And that's kind of at the beginning why I kind of ummed and ahed whether I was gonna be part of the elite or not, was because I knew I wanted to kind of escape corporate, and do something on my own, even though I've been freelance for years in the job that I do at the moment. But I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I kind of, even when I started the elite, I kind of felt a little bit like an imposter. I was like, well, all these ladies know what they want to do. They figured it all, apparently, to me, in my eyes. I thought they'd figured it all out, had this great plan, and they were just, going great guns and doing these amazing things. And I was like, I can't even figure out what it is that I would love to do every day. So it took a little while for me to actually believe that I should be part of the group, but there's so many different women and everyone's on different journeys. Even the ones in corporate, might not necessarily want to stay in corporate, or even some do, but we're so diverse that there's no right or wrong person to join because we're all so different.
Yeah, and it's about the personal journey, isn't it? That's the common denominator. I remember was it Dr. Erin when she came on and asked the group like what was the thing that we all had in common, and I remember Wendy saying it's like the imposter. It's that it doesn't matter whether it's not about are we corporate women or corporate with our own business or own business. Like, it's about the woman in the middle of it that always wants to be constantly working on that journey of becoming all she can be and constantly working on overcoming that self-doubt and just keep getting it smaller and smaller and smaller. That to me is the glue that binds us all together, because I do that work too, so does Cheryl.
Yeah, and that's it. Everyone every week, irregardless of kind of what they've got going on, with work commitments, life, family commitments, everyone's committed to kind of being the best them, growing, learning, supporting each other as well. I mean, it's not just about our own journeys, it's about kind of encouraging and cheerleading everyone on theirs as well. That's the thing that I've loved probably the most, is no matter where you are in your journey or where it is you're trying to get to, the support in the group is completely unconditional, totally judgment free. You can never say anything wrong, no matter how controversial you think it might be. It's literally such a safe and nurturing place for people. And that's kind of the thing that kind of ultimately made me decide that I was going to do it, because I just knew that this kind of environment would just do wonders for me. So yeah, that's kind of, that was it for me.
I love that. And you really did think about it, didn't it? It wasn't just a case of, oh, well, I'm in that program, so I'm just going to go to that program. Like, I loved how much energy you put into making sure that it was the right step for you, because you be 100% committed if that's what, because it's 12 months. It's not like you can dip out after a month and, go, oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and it's not just the timescale. I think, it's the financial commitment as well. You've got to be really sure that you are going to make the most of it. And that was the thing. I for myself, I just wanted to make sure that if I was going to invest in myself again, that I invested on all levels, not just financially by paying the money to be part of the elite, but actually the time and the effort and the openness and the willing to keep going. So before, when it was 6 months, weirdly in my head, because I was already part of it, it was easier, but it felt like this new, bigger, scarier thing. And it isn't that at all. It's the furthest thing away from that.
It just feel like, I think for where you were, it just feel like a natural progression, doesn't it, to go into the elite? I'm just going to check. Linda asked a question. Linda's saying she loves how you knew that we were your people as well from the F-bombs. Do you have access to all the elites or just those in the elite group at the same time? Do you have access to all the elites? Let me know what you mean by that, Linda. Basically, what happens is if you go, because Linda's in our Soul Sister program, when you're in the Soul Sister program for the 6 months, like Sarah did, she then did 6 months again. Or some people at the end of the 6 months leave it. Esme's doing it again. Arena did it twice. So it's quite common actually to do the program twice. At the end of that, if you then go into the elite, you're not in the Soul Sister group. You join the elite group, so you're in like a different Facebook group. I think that's what you mean, Linda, but let me know.
And also, because we're all in there for 12 months, it's not like people are leaving constantly either. So
it's like a run through of you've got your faces with you. So yes, if I'm reading right, those who've done it before. So yes, so if you are say in the Real You program now, Linda, if you then repeated it, you're in there with the same women until they leave and new ones join. The same as the mastermind. I mean, nobody really knows who's in it for the first time or the second time. It's just like sometimes you're just like, oh, you've been here longer than 6 months, but we do share it. But yeah, and then Charles just saying we support each other in this. So what have you found personally has been the biggest difference from the 6 months program, the Real You Soul Sister, into the elite program for 12 months? Because I know obviously what we intend to be the difference, but how does it feel like at the other end of it, Sarah?
So I think the biggest difference for me is obviously the Real You journey. You are, and it's not to say we're not in the elite, but you're really, really digging deep and uncovering lots of things and like I said before, figure out, what your beliefs are and what your limiting beliefs are, and what kind of makes you tick and what makes you happy, and what are your values, what's really important to you, and you figure out why those things are important. So that's almost like the foundation work. And it's kind of more, for me, it was a real emotional journey. And just really learning about myself. I think with the elite, we still do that, but we're building on top of that. It's almost like everyone's already gone through part of that already. And with the elite, you're kind of, I guess, more in control of your own journey. And the support can be whatever you need. Whereas with the Real You, it always is the same in the coaching. You get whatever support you need, but you flex to, if we've got questions about things, you're like, oh yeah, we can, let us talk about this, we'll do that. So we kind of, in a way, get to say, we need help with this, and that's what we want to talk about. Whereas in the Real You, it's the activities that you're doing that triggers the questions that you want the help with.
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference. You're kind of just more in control of what you're doing.
Yeah, that's good. That's how we went. And like from the Real You perspective, it is more like almost curriculum driven as well. It's like it's 6 months of work. Like we do want you to get through that ideally, because that will bring out the things that we really need to help you heal and fix. So I always think the Real You is more of the fixer upper, and there's more information and tools that we're giving you to help you learn how to. Then by the time you get into the elite, whether you've done that through us or through another program where you kind of getting that level of awareness of your sabotages and what triggers you and all that stuff, by the time you're in the elite, it's less about fixing up all and patching up and digging all the foundations. Like that's already there. You're always going to have to keep learning and refreshing. But it's more about the transformation of like, where do you want your life to go now that you have that? Like in my head, like that's the journey.
That's absolutely it. And I think when you're in the elite, you're more aware of yourself and, you know, because of going through the, you know, because quite often most of the women that you've got in the elite have been through one of your programs already, or at least done some of your masterclasses or challenges. So we've already done the groundwork, and it's that awareness that, like you said, it's the ongoing work. We know every day that we will only benefit if we keep building on that and build the routines. But yeah, the elite itself is more, where do you want to take your life? And that's where I kind of, at the beginning, I was like, well, I don't really know what I want to do. I just know that I want to keep building on it. But there's no pressure as well in the elite, which is what's so incredible. You all go at your own journey, at your own pace. You don't necessarily know where you want to end up, but the help and the support is there from you and Cheryl, and also from the women that are in the group.
Exactly. You're designing your life, like that's what it's about, isn't it? And I think in the mastermind, more so than in the real, like in the real you, I feel like it's more instructor led. So it's like me and Cheryl are more doing the coaching, and this is more about the sharing of the space, isn't it? In the mastermind, like you're all helping each other, and there's a high level of accountability, isn't there? Because we're setting goals every month. There's a monthly goal setting call, is a weekly accountability call. So it's quite like pacey when you're working through your stuff with some of the coaching and stuff around it, rather than be all about the coaching. It's about
and there's so many things that we get to do every week, right? You know, we have our weekly coaching call, like you said. We do kind of monthly goal setting, quarterly goal setting. You know, we always go back and review the week and, you know, talk about what went well and what didn't, our rosebud thorns. There's just so many opportunities that if you're not available for one of the calls, you know that there is something that happens in the week where you're all going to check in with each other and get that encouragement, that cheerleading, and also get that support as well.
And I tell you what I love, there was a call, wasn't there, the other week, where me and Cheryl, what was the photo shoot day in whenever it was, and we were like, we're really sorry, it's a Wednesday, so we can't do the call, and you girls were like, that's fine, we'll still have the call. It's nice, isn't it? Because you don't have to go to the whole thing. You can just drop in, get what you need, and come out again. And I love that. And that's for me, when it was like, this has really got a life force of its own, because it's not just about me and Cheryl. And you're very active in the Facebook group as well, aren't you? You're always like sharing and asking questions and support and for whatever it is. And I just like, I love seeing that. It's like, just like, it makes you so proud to see it have its own life force.
But that's the testament to what you've created, right? That from what you've created, we now as a group collectively keep each other going on our journeys. Even when, like you said, when you guys were doing your photo shoot, you know, Mel, I think, decided that she was going to be she took like the coaching role, obviously, because of what she's doing. And, you know, like Yvette was sorting out the tech and everything for us. It just, you know, everyone's got something to bring. And, you know, we all just have such, you know, support and admiration for each other that we kind of just want to keep the momentum going. And that's kind of, I think, why we did the call, because also as well, you learn so much from each other, even if you don't think you've got anything that you want to cover off on the week. Just joining and listening to what the other women are going through and their successes and things just is really inspiring, and also is just such a good reminder of the things that sometimes we forget about that are fundamental to the journey. So yeah, it's really, really great. I'm loving being part of it.
I'm so glad. I was just looking. Linda's like, I'm shaking my head. Yeah. As long as we answered you. And right now, people can apply. It's only the second time we've opened applications. Well, you know, because you came through the process where we let you know, right, you're ready if you're in one of our groups and you graduate into that group. But we're opening up to applications. So people who are already our clients, like Linda and Deborah in The Real You, don't need to worry. When they get to the end of it, we talk to them about, right, is now the right time, or do we do like you did and do another 6 months there or whatever? So if anybody does want to apply who's not already one of our programs, you've got till 9 o'clock tomorrow night. What would you say to them? Like, what would your advice be? Because people are going, God, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of time, it's 12 months, I don't know you all. Like, what would you say to them?
What would I say? I mean, obviously people have different kind of things that they need to factor into their decisions, but ultimately, no matter where you are in your life, whether you're in corporate, whether you're trying to start your own business, whether you have the money or aren't sure if you've got the money or not, have a chat with Donna and Cheryl about it. It's the best money that I've ever spent. And my wardrobe was absolutely rampacked. So I've spent a lot of money on that in the past. But honestly, nothing compares to the amount that you'll learn from yourself. And also with the women in the group, I can't I love you and Cheryl, but just the women that are in it as well, that are what make it so successful and so welcoming. And don't be afraid that you don't know anyone and that you haven't come from one of the programs before. Literally, you'll be welcomed with open arms, and no matter where you are, you'll be supported 100% of the way. And it might take a little while to find your feet. I mean, I did, and I'd done the Real You for 12 months, but I haven't regretted it for a second. I've managed to balance it with a full-time job as well, because a lot of the calls happen, during the day. And I think the fact that I've managed to do that is because I get so much out of it. So don't hesitate. Have a chat with Donna and Cheryl and see if it's right for you. And I just, you won't regret it at all. It'll be wonderful.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. And we were so excited that you decided to join, because we're like, yes, we're going to do the 12 months of Sarah. And like you said, the women, I know we call them our unicorns, but like literally you are like our unicorns. Like we get to just be in that space with you and just, there's no judgment. All bets are off. No dream is too big. No problems too small. It's just like in it together. Let's do this, isn't it? Every single week.
Yeah. And everyone is so different as well. So don't, sometimes, in a group of women, you might worry about whether you were going to fit in or not. But honestly, we are all so different and varied. And that's kind of the beauty of it. Everyone just fits in, and we just, it's such an amazing group. So if that's one of the things that you're worried about, then don't. We didn't all know each other at the beginning. You've had people that have joined already that haven't come from that program, and you can't tell the difference at all. There's absolutely no difference whatsoever.
We've all got the unicorn blood. Even if they didn't come through our programs, the unicorn blood is still present, which is lush. Because like you said, normally they've come through masterclasses and things. So they like how we are, and how we are is how you guys are. So it kind of all comes together in a beautiful big melting pot, doesn't it? Oh, there's Yvette. We're now like family. We are
like family.
We're so excited, aren't we? Because a lot of the girls, most of the girls have been able to come to the 23rd of September for the retreat. So we'll actually get to be in a room. And we can't believe, can we, though, that we've never been in a room. Well, me and you have, but with the other girls.
Yeah, but even when we were in a room together before, we didn't know each other. Whereas now you've like taken us all on this journey, and then we hopefully get to meet very soon.
Well, it's happening. It's happening. If I have to put a big fat pin in Boris for that to happen, it's going to happen. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with the girls.
Oh, you're welcome.
And if anyone's got any questions wherever you're watching on, if you just do if you just tag Sarah, if you've got any questions specifically for her, she might answer you today, but she will jump on and answer you, or I'll answer you. If there's anything else, just let us know. Thank you so much. You gorgeous woman. We're so glad that we met you. We're going to say bye to you all, guys. Have a lovely Sunday, and we'll see you soon.